Reporting live from Hypers Club in Atlanta for Hype News, I'm John Ava. Over the last few weeks, the Trump administration has sparked several conversations on crime in highly urban cities like DC, Baltimore, and Los Angeles. According to Trump, these cities have failed to handle their crime rate, and in response, Trump will send in the National Guard into DC to help. Now, many have opposed the use of the military being used against civilians, while others have cheered on the move, pointing out how quickly things have improved. Just a few days ago, on his Truth Social platform, Trump would now threaten Chicago as the next city he may have to bring the National Guard or military to. He would go on to write, "I love the smell of deportation in the morning. Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War." He would then go on to share a picture of himself on the body of an army general. Now, the president's words were definitely alarming for those in Chicago, including the city's own mayor, who would directly respond to the message on his X account. The president's threats are beneath the honor of our nation, but the reality is that he wants to occupy our city and break our constitution. We must defend our democracy from this authoritarianism by protecting each other and protecting Chicago from Donald Trump. Outside of political figures in Chicago reacting to Trump's threats, those who are accused of being directly connected to the crime would respond. Over on TikTok, videos will begin to circulate of gang members and so-called thugs explaining that Chicago will not comply so easily like other cities.
Man, Trump talking about something Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War. Nigga, you about to find out why it's called the RAC. The fuck? Goofy ass nigga? We ain't scared of this shit.
Trump, do not send the National Guard to Chicago, gang. Do not, I repeat, do not do it. We are a different fucking breed out here, nigga. We are not Los Angeles. Nigga, we are not Washington, D.C. Nigga, this is Chicago, nigga. Them niggas go fight back. I'm telling you, them niggas go fight back, gang. Whatever, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Them young niggas got switches, gang. They not going for that shit, bro. I know a bunch of y'all finna say, oh, it's the National Guard. They can't do anything about it. They must go in Chicago. Nigga, do y'all know that it's more bad people than good people, bro? There are over 100,000 gangs in Chicago.
Let me tell y'all something personally, bro. Trump, I don't know why the f you think that these young niggas in Iraq finna be scared. They ain't scared no more the National Guard, shorty. They ass is not playing out here, boy. The National Guard should be scared of them. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's what they be wrong. These YNs pull up to the police station with switches. You know what I'm saying? Drakes, everything, shorty. Right in front of the station. I know exactly what I said, bro. No capping. So it's like, this shit crazy. These little niggas crazy, boy.
Now, these threats made by gang members in Chicago to the National Guard will cause many black users online to now chime.
Okay, wait. What was wrong with dude's face, though? Why you look like that?
To now chime in and share how ridiculous they felt their logic was.
Are y'all serious? Do y'all really think that y'all can take on the U.S. military? Bro, the military overtakes countries, bro.
Yo, bro, since when? Since when? Because right now we're supposedly fighting all these wars all around the world and whatnot. Are we winning anything? Or is everything just at a stalemate? Are we really fighting? Is there much hand-to-hand combat anymore? I wonder. Or does everybody just have a bunch of firepower? Because it's not just firepower either. These niggas can fight. These niggas can fight. And I mean, like, you can laugh at street fights all you want to, but street fights ain't got no rules. You know what I mean?
Y'all are a small portion of Chicago, bro. And y'all talk about y'all got switches. A switch is so dumb. A switch is like a waste of bullets, bro. And y'all thinking because it shoots really fast.
A waste of bullets. If you spray, it's gonna hit something.
Bro.
So we got Chicago's gangsters and thugs saying they got switches for Trump's National Guard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's entertain that for maybe 2 seconds, right?
Okay.
First off, you think they don't know what you guys got? Where do you think those switches came from?
Okay. He got a point there a little bit, but this is 2025. That may have stood back in 1980, okay? But this is 2025. Do you really think that all of the guns that be in the hood come from the U.S. government? They have connections elsewhere. You think they don't got bazookas? You think they don't have bazookas over there? They got bazookas. They got bazookas.
I know what's so funny to me is the fact that we got people on TikTok and the people of Chicago saying that they're not scared of the National Guard. Which, okay, you may not be scared of the National Guard or whatever the case may be, but I'm going to tell y'all something. The National Guard definitely ain't scared of y'all, and the National Guard definitely don't mind bringing their ass to Chicago and shutting that whole city down. And the only reason these people saying this is because Trump said that they're going to find out what he did with D.C. and they're going to do the same thing in Chicago. And I guess the people of Chicago feeling some type of way. The dudes talking about some, oh, we got switches, we ain't scared of the National Guard, we got all this, we got all that. As if this not the U.S. military that y'all talking about. I guarantee you, them folks start bringing those tanks and bringing those grenade launchers to the streets. There is absolutely nothing that y'all people.
You don't think they have grenade launchers? Where do you think Chicago is? Like, have you ever... The south side of Chicago, like, where do you think that is? In Indiana? It's not in Indiana.
What people can do to the National Guard once they get to Chicago. I'm going to tell you that now. These are trained professionals that we're talking about here. These people specialize in that type of activity in the act of war each and every day.
A part of these responses, black soldiers have also spoken out to explain why gang members going against the military is a bad idea.
I pray to Christ Jesus himself that this video reaches the vast majority of the thugs and hooligans in Chicago that truly believe that you're going to do anything to the United States military. Mind you, we're not even bringing Green Berets or Navy SEALs or Special Forces, right? It's National Guard.
So that right there lets us know that you're not really even all that serious for real. You're not even bringing in no Special Forces. It's just regular schmegler degler National Guard. The same type of National Guard that Red Foreman used to make fun of on that 70s show. That National Guard, okay. And you think, okay.
It usually happens when an administration feels like a city or a place within the United States, it just adds civil unrest, right? Because we do defend the country from enemies, foreign and domestic, right? But let me...
Foreign and domestic? When was the last time y'all ran up on the Klan, sir? When was the last time y'all ran up on a neo-Nazi group, sir? Oh, okay.
But let me speak to the people that think they're gonna do something to the military. Please, I advise you do not do it, right? I'm all for peace. I'm all for the right thing. Please do not put yourself in a position where you fall for the trap. Please don't think that you're gonna intimidate people that can pinpoint where you keep your weapons at, locate who your family is.
You think that Trap Lord Ross can't sit up here and figure out where the fuck your family from all the way in London and let all of these Chicago niggas know? You think you're safe?
A matter of half of a nanosecond. We have homing missiles that can track you down and put a quarter of a hole in your chest before you realize it. I'm asking all the thugs and hooligans to be civil. Be civil and just do the right thing.
Y'all heard what they saying about, telling Trump, don't send the National Guard here, we got switches, da-da-da-da-da, right? Y'all think y'all warning them by saying they don't shoot well, that they don't have the same weaponry. They know that. However, you gotta understand the generation that we're dealing with. They're not looking at that as advice. They're looking at that as a challenge.
That's a challenge.
And while many of you think you're, you have a one-up or you're, really putting YNs in their place, you're really not.
You're really not.
And what you're doing is you're issuing a challenge to them. You got to remember, as service members, we are governed by the UCMJ. Guess what YNs are governed by?
Nothing.
The streets. They don't have the same rules that we have.
They don't.
Please stop feeling like y'all flexing up on these Chicago YNs, bro. Because it's not cool. And it's not the flex that y'all think it is. Oh, y'all think y'all got 5.56s and all these rounds and y'all can't shoot and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. What I'm saying is the D1 crash outs in the hood, they don't care nothing about critical thinking. All they see is a mission.
Now, according to the...
Yo, dead ass, a flat out. That is so fucking true. Like, they don't care. They don't care. And I've always said, okay, so Murfreesboro, Tennessee used to be the teeniest, tiniest town in Tennessee. It wasn't, but it was a teeny tiny town. Like, you could get anywhere in Murfreesboro, Tennessee within 20 minutes. From one side to the next in 20 minutes. Flat, no matter where you at. Now it takes about 20 minutes to get up the street. But I remember back in the day, I grew up in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and I remember when there was only one Walmart and it wasn't a super center, and I remember when we got our first Walmart. Okay? Like, this was a teeny tiny town. Like, super small. So after Katrina had happened, a ton of people came flooding in through here. And it brought in a lot of YNs teaching Tennessee, Murfreesboro, Nashville niggas how to be niggas. That's what it was. And it wasn't just niggas either. It was niggas and Asian gangs. Yes, Asian gang in Middle Tennessee, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. But that brought in a lot of fuck shit into Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and then you had a lot of people that were thinking that they were being initiated into all these gangs, and then other disasters happened, and more people from bigger cities started flooding into Murfreesboro, and now you've got a bunch of Murfreesboro natives, YNs. And when I say YNs, they could be white boys too. Okay, thinking that they're Crips and Bloods and this and that. And they running around terrorizing people. And a lot of folks were making fun of it and like, oh, you know, these wannabe thugs and this, that, and the third. And I've been the main one to sit up here and say, those are the most dangerous types of thugs. Like the thugs that actually initiate people, like they have some sort of structure. These are, you know, the middlemen who flooded into a new area and taught other people the very little bit that they knew. You see what I'm saying? So I would fear someone who doesn't know how to shoot a gun over someone who does. Because honey, you don't, if you don't have good aim, you don't know where the motherfucker shooting at. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So those are the most dangerous types. Those are the types that were brainwashed into believing that they didn't have anything to lose. Even if these people do have something to lose, they were brainwashed into believing that they didn't have anything to lose. And a lot of these people in Chicago don't have a whole lot to lose. If anything, they've got something to gain. Notoriety, street cred. Do you know how much street cred you would earn if you blew up a fucking tank with a bazooka in the middle of Chicago? Okay? That would be, you would go down as a legend. So yeah, they're taking this as a challenge. Oh, you think we can't beat the National Guard? Chicago niggas are different breeds of niggas. Okay, I don't think you guys realize that. Memphis niggas are different breeds of niggas. Florida niggas, different. They different from all the other ones. Like there are very distinct types of YNs out there. Okay, and if Trump is deciding that he's going to invade these places where there is a ton of YNs who believe they have nothing to lose and they got bad aim, and they don't care about structure. But then at the same time, you have to kind of wonder, okay, because I don't see any Chicago gangs. I don't see any YNs spouting off at the mouth like, yeah, come get you some. It's other people talking about them. Now, if you know where to look, they don't really shut up. They talk. They talk a lot. They be telling on themselves. Okay, they talk a lot. They talk a whole lot. But you got to know where to look to see what they saying and where they at. I ain't finna say nothing. But if you know where to look, and they're not saying all of that. It's other people saying that about them. So then I got to think, okay, so why is it that none of these gangs are coming out and saying, yeah, come get you some, but it's everybody else saying it? I think that's because the National Guard is not a federal thing, okay? The Navy is, the Army is, the Air Force is. National Guard, that is their control. Yes, they're paid by federal funds, but they're controlled by the state, okay? So the Federal Guard of Illinois, they have to be like, yeah, okay, we're going to come in. But they're not really doing that. That's why Trump is deploying other National Guardsmen there. Now, if somebody want to act the fool, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to be so real with you. Yeah, Chicago niggas are a different breed of niggas. But at the same time, they're not saying anything. And they would be the first ones to say something. Okay, they would be the first ones to be like, come get you some. And they're not. So be on the lookout for some bad actors. Okay, be on the lookout for some infiltrators to make certain people look really bad. Okay, be on the lookout for that. But in order for Donald Trump to say, okay, Illinois National Guard, y'all gotta go outside now. Now you have to go outside. In order for them to be like, okay, well, the president says so, so now we gotta go. There has to be something crazy to happen, like an insurrection. I'm not talking about January 6th. I'm talking about just the general definition of an insurrection or some sort of mass uprising. That's the only time that Donald Trump can actually say, hey, Illinois National Guard, now you got to go in and take care of business. Otherwise, the Illinois National Guard doesn't have to go in and do anything. So I'm wondering, okay, if we're all talking about how bad these Chicago niggas are, you know what I mean? And how they gonna run up on a motherfucker, right? If we're all talking about how we should all be scared of them, including the National Guard, even though they're not actually saying anything about it, and then the National Guard shows up, and then a bad actor or some infiltrator sets off some wicked, mad weaponry, then he's got all the reason in the world to call in the Illinois National Guard and anybody else he wants to. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mentioned this book before, but didn't nobody want to listen to me. Chicago, this right here is your blueprint. This is your blueprint. Memphis, if they come here, this is your blueprint. Florida niggas are so different. So different. They're all just so different. Memphis niggas is so different, okay? Florida, blueprint. That's all I'm gonna say about that. If you need a copy of this book, I'll give you this copy. I will give you this copy. Email me. If you can figure out what my email address is, email me. Put in the subject line, I want the book. Email me, and then we'll figure out a way for me to get this sent to you. I'll send you this book. You need the book that fucking bad? You that broken? You just really need this book that bad? Email me. I'll send it to you. And if you really want to keep it going, the next person, I'm going to give them your email address, and when you finish reading the book, you pass it along to them. And just keep passing the book along. As long as somebody reading it, I don't care. I don't care. As long as somebody read it. Anyway, that's it for me, y'all. Like and subscribe or whatever. Join the Patreon. Enjoy the outro. That's it for me, y'all. Bye. I really think he need to unscrunch his face, because why does your face look like that? Why is your face...
Been the two of us need look no more. We both found what we was looking for. With a friend to call my own. I'll never be alone. And you, my friend, will see you got a friend in need. Got a friend in need. Ben, you're always running here and there. You'd feel you're not wanted anywhere. If you ever look behind and don't like what you find, there's something you you should know. You got a place to go. Got a place to go. I used to say I am me. Now it's us. Now it's we. Been most people would turn you away. I don't listen to a word they say. They don't see you as I do. I wish they would try to. I'm sure they'd think again if they had a friend like Ben. like Ben, like Ben, Ben.